Welcome and good evening, you wonderful dice of all alignments. I am Lunar D8, and this is part 2 of the unrehearsed creepypasta narrations. I think I'll do Jeff the Killer, Slender Man, and I think there's a story called Barbie I think I remember from the past, so I'll try to... I at least looked up Jeff the Killer, I have that one loaded up, and the other two I'll have to... hopefully I can find those. First and foremost, if you're watching this video, make sure you watched part 1 first. That's the biggest thing I can say. Watch part 1 first. Other than that, would like to give a few recommendations. There was a movie called The Odyssey, based off of, Homer's Odyssey, the old Greek story, but there's a movie called The Odyssey. Came out in 1994, stars Armand Assante. Aside from that, Canterbury Tales by Geoffrey Chaucer, and of course the amazing story of Don Quixote. But let's go and hop into this. I talked about a lot more stuff and introductions to things in the previous video, so yeah. The most important thing I can tell you to do is watch part 1 first. Okay. The Jeff the Killer creepypasta story. Excerpt from a local newspaper. Ominous unknown killer is still at large. After weeks of unexplained murders, the ominous unknown killer is still on the rise. After little evidence has been found, a young boy states that he survived one of the killer's attacks and bravely tells his story. "I had a bad dream, and I woke up in the middle of the night," says the boy. "I saw that for some reason the window was open, even though I remember it being closed before I went to bed. I got up and shut it once more. Afterward, I simply crawled under my covers and tried to get back to sleep. That's when I had a strange feeling, like someone was watching me. I looked up and nearly jumped out of my bed. There, in a little ray of light illuminating from between my curtains, were a pair of 2 eyes. These weren't regular eyes, they were dark, ominous eyes. They were bordered in black and just plain out terrified me. That's when I saw his mouth, a long, horrendous smile that made every hair on my body stand up. The figure stood there, watching me. Finally, after what seemed like forever, he said a simple phrase, but said it in a way only a madman could speak. He said, 'Go to sleep.' I let out a scream. That's what sent him at me. He pulled up a knife, aiming at my heart. He jumped on top of my bed. I fought him back. I kicked, I punched, I rolled around, trying to knock him off me. That's when my dad busted in. The man threw the knife. It went into my dad's shoulder. The man probably would have finished him off if one of the neighbors hadn't alerted the police. They drove into the parking lot and ran toward the door. The man turned and ran down the hallway. Heard a smash like glass breaking. As I came out of my room, I saw the window that was pointing toward the back of my house was broken. I looked out to sea and vanished into the distance. I can tell you one thing. I will never forget that face. Those cold, evil eyes, and that psychotic smile. They will never leave my head. Police are still on the look for this man. If you see anyone that fits the description in this story, please contact your local police department." Jeff and his family had just moved into a new neighborhood. His dad had gotten a promotion at work, and they thought it would be the best to live in one of those fancy neighborhoods. Jeff and his brother, Lou, couldn't complain though. A new, better house. What was not to love? As they were getting unpacked, one of the neighbors came by. "Hello," she said. "I'm Barbara. I live across the street from you. Well, I just wanted to introduce myself and to introduce my son." She turns around and calls her son over. "Billy, these are our new neighbors." Billy said hi and ran back to play in his yard. "Well," said Jeff's mom, "I'm Margaret, and this is my husband, Peter." and my two sons, Jeff and Lou. They each introduced themselves, and then Barbara invited them to her son's birthday. Jeff and his brother were about to object when their mother said that they would love to. When Jeff and his family are done packing, Jeff went up to his mom. "Mom, why would you invite us to some kid's party? If you haven't noticed, I'm not some dumb kid." Jeff said, his mother, "We just moved here. We should show that we want to spend time with our neighbors. Now, we're going to that party, and that's final." Jeff started to talk, but stopped himself, knowing that he couldn't do anything. Whenever his mom said something, it was final. He walked up to his room and plopped down on his bed. He sat there, looking at his ceiling, when suddenly he got a weird feeling. Not so much pain, but a weird feeling. He dismissed it as just some random feeling. He heard his mother call him down to get his stuff, and he walked down to get it. The next day, Jeff walked downstairs to get breakfast, got ready for school. As he sat there eating his breakfast, he once again got that feeling. This time it was stronger. It gave him a slight tugging pain, but once again, dismissed it. As he and Lou finished breakfast, they walked down to the bus stop. They sat there, waiting for the bus, and then, all of a sudden, some kid on a skateboard jumped over them, only inches above their laps. They both jumped back in surprise. "Hey, what the hell?" The kid landed and turned back to them. He kicked his skateboard up and caught it with his hands. The kid seems to be about 12, 1 year younger than Jeff. He wears an Aeropostale t-shirt and ripped blue jeans. Well, 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 it looks like we got some new meat. Suddenly, two other kids appeared. One was super skinny and the other was huge. "Well, since you're new here, I'd like to introduce yourselves. Over there is Keith." Jeff and Lou looked over to the skinny kid. He had a dopey face that you would expect a sidekick to have. "And he's Troy." They looked over to the fat kid. Talk about a tub of lard. This kid looked like he hadn't exercised since he was crawling. "And I," said the first kid, "am Randy. Now, for all the kids in this neighborhood, there is a small price for bus fare. You catch my drift." Lou stood up, ready to punch the lights out of the kid's eyes, when one of his friends pulled a knife on him. "Tisk, tisk, tisk. I had hoped you would be more cooperative. But it seems we must do this the hard way." The kid walked up to Lou and took his wallet out of his pocket. Jeff got that feeling again. Now it was truly strong. A burning sensation. He stood up, but Lou gestured him to sit down. Jeff ignored him and walked up to the kid. "Listen here, you little punk. Give back my bro's wallet or else." Randy put the wallet in his pocket and pulled out his own knife. "Oh? And what will you do?" Just as he finished the sentence, Jeff popped the kid in the nose. As Randy reached for his face, Jeff grabbed the kid's wrist and broke it. Randy screamed, and Jeff grabbed the knife from his hand. Troy and Keith rushed Jeff, but Jeff was too quick. He threw Randy to the ground, and Keith lashed out at him. But Jeff ducked and stabbed him in the arm. Keith dropped his knife and fell to the ground, screaming. Troy rushed him too, but Jeff didn't even need the knife. He just punched Troy straight in the stomach, and Troy went down. As he fell, he puked all over. Lou could do nothing but look in amazement at Jeff. "Jeff, how'd you?" was all he said. They saw the bus coming, and they knew they'd be blamed for the whole thing, so they started running as fast as they could. As they ran, they looked back and saw the bus driver rushing over to Randy and the others. As Jeff and Lou made it to school, they didn't dare tell what happened. All they did was sit and listen. Lou just thought of that as his brother beating up a few kids, but Jeff knew it was more. It was something scary. As he got that feeling, he knew how powerful it was, the urge to just hurt someone. He didn't like how it sounded, but he couldn't help feeling happy. He felt that strange feeling go away and stay for the entire day of school. Even as he walked home, due to the whole thing near the bus stop, and how now he probably wouldn't be taking the bus anymore, he felt happy. When he got home, his parents asked him how his day was, and he said in a somewhat ominous voice, "It was a wonderful day." Next morning, he heard a knock at his front door. He walked down to find 2 police officers at the door, his mother looking back at him with an angry look. "Jeff, these officers tell me that you attacked 3 kids, that it wasn't regular fighting, and that they were stabbed." "Stabbed, son?" Jeff's gaze fell to the floor, showing his mother that it was true. "Mom, they were the ones who pulled the knives on me and Lou." "Son," said one of the cops, "we found 3 kids, 2 stabbed, 1 having a bruise on his stomach, and we have witnesses proving that you fled the scene. Now what does that tell us?" Jeff knew it was no use. He could say him and Lou had been attacked, but then there was no proof it was not them who attacked first. They couldn't say they weren't fleeing, because truth be told they were, so Jeff couldn't defend himself or Lou. "Son, call down your brother." Jeff couldn't do it since he was the one who beat up all the kids. "Sir, it was me. I was the one who beat up the kids. Lou tried to hold me back, but he couldn't stop me." The cop looked at his partner and they both nodded. "Well, kid, looks like a year in juvie." "Wait," says Lou, they all looking up to him to see him holding a knife. The officers pulled their guns and, "He's a fucking 12-year-old! "It was me. I beat up those little punks. Must have the marks to prove it." He lifted up his sleeves to reveal cuts and bruises, as if he was in a struggle. "Son, again, he's a fucking 12-year-old. Why'd you pull the fucking hell?" I know I've read just about every created pasta in existence in the past, but I don't have them committed to memory. Jesus Christ. He's 12! Maybe younger. I know Jeff is 13. But seriously. Lou held up the knife and dropped it to the ground. He put his hands up and walked over to the cops. "No, Lou, it was me. I did it." Jeff had tears running down his face. "Huh, poor bro? Trying to take the blame for what I did? Well, take me away." The police led Lou out to the patrol car. "Really? Lou, tell them it was me. Tell them I was the one who beat up those kids." Jeff's mother put her hands on his shoulders. "Jeff, please. You don't have to lie. We know it's Lou. You can stop." Jeff watched helplessly as the cop car speeds off with Lou inside. A few minutes later, Jeff's dad pulled in the driveway, seeing Jeff's face and knowing something was wrong. Son, what is it?" Jeff couldn't answer. His vocal cords were strained from crying. Instead, Jeff's mother walked his father inside to break the bad news to him as Jeff wept in the driveway. After an hour or so, okay, let me real quick state that after finding out what happened, the dad should console and talk to Jeff and then immediately go to the police station to be there for his son. After an hour or so, Jeff walked back into the house, seeing that his parents were both shocked. "And why are you not at the police station to be there for your son?" "He is 12, you are his dad, you should be there for him." Fucking hell. I'm getting off. I'll try to stop, going off on tangents. Jeff walked back in the house after a fucking hour plus, seeing that his parents were both shocked, sad, disappointed, and still sitting there, not doing their job as parents. Literally, the moment he found out, he should have went to his son that was there in the house immediately, less than 30 seconds of finding out. It should have been immediately to his son, Jeff, gave him a hug, told him everything's okay, talked to him about it, found out, what happened, and then immediately drove down to the police station at breakneck speed to be there for his son, who is being interrogated like he's a fucking criminal and like he's a fucking adult. He's a little scared little kid who did nothing wrong, who was simply attacked, and him and his brother had to defend themselves. I mean, they did nothing wrong in that situation. Yes, I know how the story eventually turns out. Jeff becomes a very bad person. That's wrong. What he does in regard to things is very fucking wrong. But the self-defense thing, and I know later on the whole story, the bleach thing and reaction to that, was fine. He did nothing wrong. In that situation, Jeff didn't do anything wrong in that situation. The later psychotic break, yes, very, very bad. But again, I am extremely disappointed in the reactions of every human being in this story. Also, if Lou had all those scratches and bruises on him, how did his parents not notice? How did no one fucking notice? Until he oh, here, look. Goddamn, what the fuck? I said I wouldn't go off a tangent. I'm gonna try really hard not. And again, like I said, I know how the story eventually ends up. Jeff becomes a horrible, 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 evil person. But there's nothing wrong with defending yourself. There is nothing wrong in defending yourself, or if you see somebody else, and somebody's being mean to them, there's nothing wrong in standing up for them and protecting them. That's the whole point of having strength and power, is to help others, to protect others. Hell, it's a very good point that, hey, there's a time to be angry, there's a time not to be. That there's a time that even if you are really, 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 really pissed, that you should hold your anger in and you shouldn't express it. But there are other times that you should. I mean, it's very important to be able to tell the difference about when you should and when you shouldn't, and in what way you should. Self-control is very important. It's just, there was nothing wrong in self-defense. There's nothing wrong in defending yourself, and there's nothing wrong defending others. And hell, the whole emotion of enjoying it, that's just endorphins and stuff firing off, because it's your brain trying to make you do that, because initially you're not supposed to be hardwired to behave in such a way. So your brain has to trick you to somehow enjoy it, because the action of doing the violent thing to save your own life or protect others from being harmed, your brain has to reward that. It has, adrenaline, endorphins, all, it's gotta make you do stuff that's hardwired for survival. Because if it didn't, you would just die. You would just let the person hurt you. And that's not good for you physically or emotional. Whether it be your physical survival or your emotional survival. It's not good for you. Okay? That's not... You should defend yourself, okay? If somebody is hurting you, you should stand up that. You should... Yes, there are some times that maybe somebody is trying to trick you or lure you into a trap. Which, again, there are thousands of different scenarios. And, of course, you may be a little paranoid, and other times it may be completely justified. It's just, here's the thing. If someone is trying to rile you up, and they're trying to piss you off, and they're trying to make you attack them, you have to ask yourself, okay, am I being baited? Is this person trying to trick me? Is there something going on here that I'm not aware of? What are the circumstances? Okay, that's the thing. There is nothing wrong with feeling anger. Here's the thing. Say if everyone dies and go to heaven. I don't expect people to stop feeling things like sadness or anger. What are we going to be? A bunch of... here's the thing. Human beings need free will. Otherwise, here's the thing. We're not fucking puppets, okay? We're not fucking dolls and marionettes simply blindly following orders and doing whatever somebody fucking tells you. Because here's the thing. I believe in God, but if God were to tell me to kill somebody, I'd be like, no! Just... the fuck? We're not fucking puppets. You don't just blindly follow orders, whether it's from a government or from anyone. You have free will. Everyone can fucking think for themselves. You don't just blindly do what fucking people tell you. But at the same time, you do listen to what everyone says, You weigh your options in your head, you weigh the pros and cons of everything, and you weigh what everyone's motivations are. And you weigh your, not only the logical part of it, but you also weigh how you emotionally fucking feel. You know, both the logical part of your brain and the emotional part of your brain, while at times they do disagree with each other, they are both valid, and they are both necessary. Okay? And here's the thing. Not everybody is going to fit into the same cookie-cutter fucking shape that everyone else fucking agrees with, okay? Like, I know I definitely don't come anywhere near the fucking mark on that. But I can at least say this. I like cookies. I really need to buy more Oreos. But damn it, it's just what the fuck? Like, every person in this story, all the adults, every human being in this story is a disappointment to me. It's like, what the fuck is wrong with everyone? But like I said, there is nothing wrong with feeling anger. There's nothing wrong with feeling sadness. Now, maybe feeling an overabundance of it at times, yes, bad. But here's the thing. You're not meant to feel nothing. Nor are you meant to feel overwhelmed. Grantedly, yes, I am not the fucking poster child of fucking normalcy on this shit. But I can at least pretend to be fucking goddamn normal, okay? So I at least understand vaguely how I should feel. I know I don't, but fuck all of you, okay? Fuck everyone, everything, fuck me. I can go fuck myself. I don't know where this conversation's going. Main point I'm trying to say is this. There is nothing wrong with feeling anger. There's nothing wrong with feeling sadness. Hell, there's sometimes I'll listen to sad music and cry. Granted, I won't do it in public. I won't cry in front of people. I pretty much hardly ever cry in front of another human being. And usually if I do, it's usually something extreme like, one of my sisters is dead. Or, something like that. People are actually fucking dead. Or something really, really, really bad has happened. Aside from that, I will cry privately by myself. Because it does help me to feel better. It does release endorphins. But never mind the whole fucking brain chemistry bullshit. Main point is this. 1, human beings are not meant to be puppets. 2, everyone has a free will. You're allowed to think whatever you... This isn't fucking George Orwell's 1984 fucking thought police bullshit. People are allowed to think about whatever the fuck pops in their head. There's nothing wrong with having thoughts that are way far away from what people would consider normal. The important thing is how you treat other people. And I'll say this, me in general, I tend to subscribe to the idea of pacifism and to trying to be nice and polite to everyone. I feel like there's an epidemic of fucking rudeness in this world. And I tend to go out of my way to be extremely polite to everyone. Even if I feel like fucking punching them in the face. Even when I see like a cat or a dog on the street, I will be polite to the cat or dog. Like, I'll cuss my fucking head off playing a video game. But, I'm extremely polite to people. Granted, there are sometimes I'll be very angry, but usually I'll keep that to myself unless they've done something like actually physically attacking me. Or I go to a bar and there's like, a bunch of people just yelling at a bunch of black people, calling them N-word. I'm sorry. Even though I'm not black, it's like, I don't like that word. I don't like it being used that way. Granted, I'll watch a shit ton of South Park. I find, I'm getting off topic. I don't even know what the topic is anymore. I'm just saying, if someone physically attacks me, I'm going to defend myself. I just don't, and even though I like using a punching bag, I like the idea of doing spar matches with people, I don't like the idea of actually physically fighting people because I don't like the idea of actually hurting somebody. But then again, I will watch tons of violent movies, creepypastas, video games. And of course, I have lots and lots of thoughts about every kind of subject. My mind is literally everywhere, and doesn't make any fucking sense. But main point is this. I like being nice to people. I don't like having fights and arguments with people. I don't like being mean to people. I just like being nice to people. I don't know. I don't know where this is going. Main point I'm trying to say is this. You know, human beings are meant to have free will. And here's the thing. Whether you... Like, no matter what happens to human beings are meant to feel happy. And they're meant to feel sad or angry sometimes. It'd be weird if you didn't feel those things. The problem is sometimes if it's in excess, or, sometimes you feel overly numb or depressed or just emotionally overwhelmed or anxiety of certain things, But, we all find coping mechanisms. The important thing is finding ways of coping with your feelings in a way that doesn't hurt anyone and maybe even is helpful to others. I don't know where we're going with that. Why did we even get on this fucking... I was trying to read a story! I even said before I went off the tangent, I'm gonna try really hard not to go off on a tangent. What do? I go off on a fucking tangent! Okay, I'm trying to read a story. We're trying really hard to just read the fucking text of the creepypasta without getting sidetracked. Main point is this. At this point in the story, the only people that have fucked up is everyone that isn't Jeff. Also Lou. Everyone else I'm ashamed of. I think it was Pete and Margaret. You're terrible parents! Also Barbara, you too. Everyone, all the adults, and all those people that bust up, everyone is a failure of a human being! I am ashamed you exist! Seriously, what the fuck, Pete? That again, the whole birthday thing, I can understand, but you should have still at least talked to them about it. Actually cared about your kids' fucking feelings. What the fuck is that? You shouldn't just make decisions for people like that. At the same time, it's Pete, what the fuck are you doing? That's not how you parent! What the fuck's wrong with you, man? God damn it! Everyone in the story... Well, technically there was the prologue with the news article. They didn't do anything wrong. The little kid was just sleeping in his bed, and the dad was, saving his son's life, and the police were driving cars, and then I assume trying to run after Jeff. They were fine, but that's the prologue. That doesn't count. It's a prologue. It's in a newspaper article. It's not part of the story. Doesn't count. Does count. Okay. We are not going to argue fucking semantics here, okay? The point being, as of this point, Jeff has done nothing wrong. There is nothing wrong in defending yourself. Like I said, it's not wrong or evil for somebody to feel anger. Okay? There is nothing wrong with that. It's how you express it that's important. And whether or not you hurt people. And even in that situation, it's okay if it's in self-defense. Or you're defending someone else. That is the reason for... here's the thing. When it comes to anger, one of the most mature things you can do is to understand your anger, understand the circumstances that are causing it, the circumstances that you are in, and when you should hold back your anger and not express it, and when you should. There is a time to fight, and there is a time not to fight. That's gotta be a logical decision you gotta weigh. But of course, the logical and the emotional aspects are both important. Neither one is more important than the other, and both are absolutely necessary. Okay? Point being, As of this point, Jeff has done nothing wrong. But the prologue technically took place after the story. Well, then it wouldn't be an epilogue? I hate me. I fucking hate me. This is why stories that involve time travel... This doesn't have time... Okay, I'm pretty sure everyone listening to this gets the fucking idea about how prologues and epilogues work, and that I'm talking about 13-year-old Jeff that is currently just sitting in his house crying. Okay? That Jeff has done nothing wrong, okay? There is nothing wrong with defending yourself, especially if people are trying to do grievous bodily harm to you. And of course, there's nothing wrong with defending others. Because the whole reason for strength, the whole reason for any human being to have any kind of power is to protect others. That is the whole reason for strength. That is the whole reason why power should even exist in the first place, is to protect others. And hypothetically, if it's possible to avoid all violence and all conflict, that's great. If it's possible that we could never have another fucking war again, and that no one ever murdered anyone ever fucking again, let alone, other things. Main point being is, I want everyone to be nice to each other. And I don't want anyone to try to hurt anyone ever. But that's not exactly the world we live in. But I'm just saying this. You should try your best to avoid conflict. You should try your best to avoid situations and individuals that will initiate conflict and try to maybe stab you or rape you or stuff like that. But of course, you can't always fucking do that. So, in said situations, there is nothing wrong with defending yourself. You're defending yourself. Same way if you see somebody else being hurt, there is nothing wrong with running in to save them. That is the whole purpose of strength, is to protect people. Yes, it'd be great if we could just avoid, conflict, and possibly if somebody is leaning toward that, if you could just talk them down and just de-escalate the situation, that would be best. Because hell, I imagine that there's a lot of people that you could probably talk down. But there's also been a lot of people that there's no fucking... It's just, trust me, I've been there. It doesn't always fucking work. It's just the point being is, if it's possible to avoid violence, that is good. That is what we should all do, is to avoid violence. We should all try to avoid it, and if somebody is trying to initiate it, just try to hopefully talk them down. But again, this isn't a fucking fairy tale! This is the real fucking world. And some people it just doesn't fucking work. And especially if there's 4 or 5 of them, you can't just stand there doing nothing while you're getting your head stomped on and getting slammed into a brick wall and being kicked repeatedly in the ribs, okay? You can't just lay there and get your head stomped on repeatedly. It kind of fucking hurts! Okay, off topic. Off topic. Topic was we're trying to read a fucking story. Main point being, there is nothing wrong with defending yourself. There is nothing wrong with defending others. That is the reason for strength. That is the reason for those kinds of impulses and thoughts, is a survival mechanism. It's the part of your brain helping you to not die. Okay? yes, at the very end of the story, where we read the newspaper thing, which we technically read at the very start of the story because, epilogue stuff, God forbid I ever have to read a story that involves any amount of fucking time travel. I enjoy the game Chrono Trigger, and yet I can't play that game without just the entire time, and the game does require level grinding. You have to fucking level grind in that game, especially at the point where I would normally be at fucking level 30. I suddenly hit a fucking cliff, and I'm like, okay, now I need to spend 4 fucking hours fucking grinding levels and bitching about the timeline. But yeah, God forbid I ever read a story or do anything involving time travel. That discussion's gonna be a fucking... The funny thing is this, I remember being a little kid, and even then having a thought to myself saying, okay, I made a password. A password that I've never written down, I've never typed in anything. This password, I'm even avoiding thinking about it right now. I know what it is. I know what this password is. You might say, what kind of password is this? It's a password for myself. The idea is that if time travel were ever a fucking thing, and yes, I was a little kid when I fucking thought this shit up, so maybe I was just being naive and gullible thinking about time travel and shit. But still, I was a little kid, I had the thought, hey, if time travel's real, I should have a password for myself, so that if a me from another reality or time period or whatever in the future comes to talk to me, I know it's really me. I'll have a password that only me would know, that only I would know. And I've made sure that there's no fucking way anybody would know what the fucking password is, because once I thought of it, I simply understood it, remembered it, and never, I have avoided writing down the password. I have avoided typing the password on anything electronic ever. I have avoided saying the password out loud ever. I avoid thinking about it consciously, that I'll just think, oh, the password, but I won't think about what the password actually is. So in the off chance that somebody could read my fucking mind, that they won't be able to read the fucking password. Yes, it's fucking extreme. Yes, it's very, very excessive. And yes, that is a weird-ass fucking thing for a little kid to fucking think up when, he's not even tall enough to ride a fucking roller coaster yet. Though it's kind of weird thinking back at that time about what it was like being that fucking short as a little kid, riding a fucking tricycle. Main point being, yeah, I know I was reading a creepypasta, but I feel like kind of went off subject a little bit. Just a little. Define a little. Pretty sure I only spent half hour. Only a half hour, just fuck, god damn it. Fucking hell, man. Main point I'm trying to say is everyone be nice to each other. If possible, avoid violence. But, there's nothing wrong with feeling anger. There's nothing wrong with feeling sadness. Yes, in excessive amounts, not good. Not because it makes you a bad person, but because, well, it probably causes you more emotional pain and distress. And yes, you don't want to leave a super comfy, cushy life with no hardships ever, because then you'll just be a spoiled fucking brat when you get older. At the same time, if you go through too much shit, it's kind of like weightlifting. If you never lift at all, you'll never get stronger. But if you just lift non-stop and never, ever, ever rest, you'll never get stronger. You'll probably even injure yourself or accidentally, break a bone or tear a muscle. I mean, you guys ever seen those footage of the people lifting weights and you just see the muscle tear off the bone? And it's like, where the person lifting a weight and just the bone snaps. Hell, that happens to some sprinters or people playing soccer. Or what about those people playing parkour? Or hell, skateboarders. I mean, I know Tony Hawk and Jackie Chan are so amazing at their crafts. I mean, they are so... Like, Tony Hawk is an incredibly skilled skateboarder, but he has broken just about fucking everything. And I'm sure he's lost about all his teeth. Jackie Chan is an incredibly gifted, hard-working martial artist. I mean, I don't think I can emphasize enough. Not just the amount of raw talent that Jackie Chan possesses, but the amount of dedication and hard work that he has poured his very essence into his craft. And yet, he has broken so many things. There were times that the people that worked with Jackie Chan had to stop him from doing certain stunts because they were concerned that he was going to die. He is missing part of his fucking skull. Like, part of the actual bone inside his head is gone. Like, there was one time, like, I think it was one of the cop movies he was doing. Like, he went down from, like, a multi-story, like, mall, and he was, like, holding onto this metal pole with, like, these lights and stuff, and he actually gave himself electrical heat burns through his hands. Though I'm pretty sure he was wearing gloves for that. I can't remember. Though I remember a lot of those old movies, like, there was trucks and, like, the Japanese and Chinese trucks, that the really small trucks have 3 wheels. It's a 3-wheel, small little truck. It's like a very tiny semi-truck with 3 wheels. And I'm like, why didn't you just make a van? Like, I understand that, okay, you don't have enough room on certain streets, or it's too cost inefficient to get a giant-ass fucking semi. At the same time, if you're going to have a little teeny, dinky, tiny piece of shit truck with 3 fucking wheels, why? How is this more efficient? How is the driver not scared that his truck will just fall over in a strong breeze, or if he takes a turn at faster than 30 miles an hour? I'm just saying Jackie Chan's amazing, but he has broken just about fucking everything. And I don't know why I'm talking about Jackie Chan now. I think the point is that it's amazing that people can do these physical things. And of course, bodybuilding is good. I mean, if you can get stronger pursuing any sport or hobby, whether it's playing a guitar or lifting weights, good for you. But be careful. Understand human limitations. Also, don't, do anything that's unhealthy for you. Main point is, I don't want anyone to end up in a hospital or, get hurt. I mean, yeah, you do have to push a little hard sometimes, but you have to, keep in mind, this isn't a movie. It's not anime. You have human limitations to deal with, and you do need to actually be able to function for a job, or, not tear the muscles from your bones or some shit. Okay? I don't know. I'm really off topic. Main point, I want a hug. I want hugs. I bother, ASMR, cat girls, and people on Twitch and stuff just because, I don't know, it's nice to talk to people. Even if it is via electronic things, it's, especially the way the world's been, it is so much harder to be social with people. Never mind other circumstances, too. But main point is, sometimes it's just, like I said, the ASMR stuff helps me sleep. Because sometimes it's just really nice to hear a friendly voice. To actually hear that somebody appreciates you. That someone says nice things to you. That you're not being yelled at or called horrible things. Just that latter statement, that hurts. That even though emotional stuff can't be seen, that does hurt. And that does kind of stick with you, especially if it just keeps sort of rolling around in your head. Just saying, positive reinforcement is really good, and hugs are really nice, and having someone legitimately nice to you in a very non-threatening way, because it's very important to feel safe. It's very important to feel safe. Okay? And it's not nice feeling to be yelled at or called really bad things or to be physically attacked or things like that, because it makes you sad, okay? And then you stay sad about that because then you think about it over and over, and then it makes you more sad, and then you know you shouldn't think about it, but then you can't stop continuing to think about it. I'm just saying, positive reinforcement helps. Even if it's a fucking video of a silly little anime cat girl saying just "I love yous" and saying nice things and saying you're appreciated and that you're cared about and that you're not alone and stuff like that, that's nice. It helps. Especially sometimes the binaural stuff going back and forth. It helps to deal with anxiety. It helps you to stop thinking about everything and just go to sleep and just feel that, okay, you don't have to feel anxious or worried or sad or feel like you're disgusting and everyone hates you and everyone wants you to die. You don't have to think about that stuff, and you can just feel, okay, I'm happy, blah, blah, blah. I'm not all worried and anxious. And just hear, like I said, it's sometimes it's just really nice to hear a friendly voice saying nice things to you and tell you that you're appreciated and that you're safe and that, that you're cared about. And to say nice things to you. And for you to feel safe. And for you to feel cared about. And loved and appreciated. And feel like you're special. Okay? I know I'm stupid, okay? I get it. And I understand most people don't need to listen to things like that to feel better. I get it. But it helps me, okay? I find relief in listening to friendly voices say nice things. I also like very, very cute anime girl pictures and faces. Yes, I do look at a lot of very lewd and sexual things in regard to anime girls. Yes, they're sexy, okay? Sexy anime girls are sexy. Oh no, redundancy. That's Captain Obvious! I'm just saying, it's really cute. I like cute anime girl faces. I don't. I could just delete the goddamn video. But I don't like the idea of deleting things, and I don't like the idea of editing shit. But I could just delete it right now. I mean, I didn't get that. I probably read fucking 5 minutes of Jeff out of this fucking 48.5-minute video so far. It's not like I would lose much progress with reading the creepypasta. God damn it. Thirsty as shit. My Mountain Dew is getting flat. That's so disappointing. Granted, I like ice cold Pepsi better, but Mountain Dew is good. I feel like Mountain Dew gets flat slower. I feel like Pepsi gets flat really fast, which is kind of unfortunate. But yeah, my Mountain Dew is getting flat. That's sad. And I don't think I have any Pepsi in the house right now. Gotta go to the store later. I gotta go to the gas station too. Fuck. Now, like I said, initially I was gonna do Jeff the Killer plus Slender Man and the Barbie one, but because I remember those. Because like I said, I'm pretty sure I have listened whether it was Mr. Creepypasta or AI Dark Somnia, because those guys much better narrators than me. Not only is their voice better to listen, more pleasing to listen to than mine, they actually just do the goddamn story. And they rehearse it. But that's the whole thing in my video. Shit ain't rehearsed, it's just me trying to read a story. So the whole point is me just, oh! Yeah, I'll just maybe, like, not know how to properly voice act something, because I'll at least try, like, oh, this is Jeff's mom. I'll try to make it sound somewhat like a woman talking. And then, oh, this person's supposed to sound a little, like, more enthusiastic in this statement. We'll try to go with that. Or, oh, this person's an evil character. Okay, I'll just try to sound whatever that person should sound like. But then sometimes I'll be reading the narration, I'm like, I won't know who's actually talking because I didn't read that part of the statement yet. Because like I said, I've probably heard just about every creepypasta in existence. But the main point is this. That is a lot of information in my very finite brain. Okay? I'm not going to remember shit and I'm going to forget details. Hell, I remember in the previous video I came across the Snow on Mount Silver video. Story. It's fucking text, man. And, like, I couldn't remember what happened to that story. I know I've probably listened to that story 6 times over the course of my life to somebody reading it. But I couldn't remember what happened until I was actually reading it. It's just, you know, you don't remember. It's like you don't remember the lyrics to every single song you ever heard. Even if it's a song you heard like 100 times. You know, you just all of a sudden like, oh, I can remember in my head. And then all of a sudden you try to sing it out loud and you're like, oh shit, I can't remember it half time. And a lot of time it's not that you're remembering it. It's that you're singing along with it, and you're just following the lead of the singer, and that a lot of times they're starting off the sounds before you, and so you just like, you hear the y sound, and you're like, oh, this word's going to be you, and your brain fills it in. It's not that you memorized it, it's that your brain at least remembers the pattern, and they follow the lead of the singer. But without that lead, you know, it's like the vocal equivalent of being a clumsy dancer. You don't know what the fuck you're doing. And you don't have anyone to watch to try to copy. I don't know why we're talking about singing right now. I don't remember why I'm talking about singing. Gonna have to re-listen to the damn video to remember why I'm talking about singing. I believe the main thing I was probably just trying to say is that I was about doing mobile stories, but considering the fucking tangent I went off on, maybe I should just read the Jeff the Killer and then have Slender Man and Barbie and that stuff in a different video. Because this is, what, 53 minutes? And I think 5 minutes of it is me actually narrating a story. How long is the Jeff the Killer story anyway? Okay, back to Jeff having terrible fucking parents that can't do their fucking jobs! Okay. Let's just read the story because I feel like we've already been down this road going down this tangent, okay? Just read the story. Just read the fucking story. Don't go off topic. The topic is the story. Read the story. He couldn't look at them. He couldn't see how they thought of Lou when it was his fault. He just went to sleep, trying to get the whole thing off his mind. 2 days went by with no word from Lou at the JDC. Okay, again, I want to go on a rant about that past sentence. I have read 2 sentences and I want to go on a rant about everything that was just said being complete goddamn bullshit. But we're not doing that because I'm reading a story and we need to just read the fucking text. Do not go off on a tangent. Stop reacting. We're trying to read. Stop reacting to it! No friends to hang out with. Nothing but sadness and guilt. That is until Saturday when Jeff is woken up by his mother with a happy, sunshiny face. "Jeff, it's the day," she said as she opened up the curtains and let light flood into his room. What's today?" asked Jeff as he stirs awake. "Why, it's Billy's party." He was now fully awake. "Mom, you're joking, right? You don't expect me to go to some kid's party after..." "Jeff, we both know what happened. I think the party could be the thing that brightens up the past day." I really want to go off on a tangent. I have like 5 rants in my head right now about this. But I'm gonna not do that. We're just going to read the story. Just reading the letters on the phone. Not gonna say anything more. "Now get dressed." Jeff's mother walked out of the room and downstairs to get ready herself. He fought himself. I know, man! I fight myself not to fucking just Okay. He fought himself to get up. He picked out a random shirt and a pair of jeans and walked downstairs. He saw his mother and father all dressed up. His mother in a dress and his father in a suit. Nope. He thought, why would they ever wear such fancy clothes to a kid's party? "Son, is that all you're going to wear?" said Jeff's mom. "Better than wearing too much," he said. His mother pushed down the feeling to yell at him and hid it with a smile. "Now, Jeff, we may be overdressed, but this is how you go if you want to make an impression." Every sentence I want to yell, said his father. Jeff grunted and went back up to his room. "I don't have any fancy clothes," he yelled downstairs. "Just pick out something," called his mother. He looked around his closet for what he could call fancy. He found a pair of black dress pants he had for special occasions and an undershirt. He couldn't find a shirt to go with it, though. Every fucking sentence. I have so much I want to say about this. But we're not doing that. We're reading the story. We're reading the story. He looked around and found only striped and patterned shirts, none of which go with dress pants. Finally, he found a white hoodie and put it on. "You're wearing that," they both said. You know, every sentence. Every fucking sentence. You know, every sentence I feel more and more like the ending's not a fucking surprise. It's sort of like, this is just basic fucking math. Every sentence, every fucking sentence is pissing me off. His mother looked at her watch. "Oh no, time to change." "Oh, no time to change, let's just go," she said as she herded Jeff and his father out the door. They crossed the street to Barbara and Billy's house. They knocked on the door and it appeared that Barbara, just like his parents, way overdressed. As they walked inside, Jeff could see were adults, no kids. "The kids are out in the yard. Jeff, how about you go and meet some of them?" said Barbara. Jeff walked outside to a yard full of kids. They were running around in weird cowboy costumes and shooting each other with plastic guns. I mean, that sounds fairly normal. He might as well be standing at a Toys R Us. Wow, I think all those went out of business. Suddenly, a kid came up to him and handed him a toy gun and hat. "Hey, wanna play?" "Aw, that sounds adorable," he said. No, kid. I'm way too old for that stuff. The kid looked at him with weird puppy dog face. Please. Okay, I can't say that, said the kid. Fine, said Jeff. He put on the hat and started to pretend to shoot at the kids. At first, he thought it was totally ridiculous. Then he started to actually have fun. It might not have been super cool, but it was the first time he had done something that took his mind off Lou. Well, good for you, man. So he played with the kids for a while, until he heard a noise. A weird rolling. Oh, god damn it. Well, we knew how this was going to go. Why were you suddenly hoping that this was going to have a happy little My Little Pony type ending about the power of friendship? Friendship is magic, motherfucker! You know there's a cupcakes creepypasta. I fucking remember. I'm not fucking reading it. Oh god, who am I kidding? I'm gonna fucking read it, aren't I? God damn it. I'm at least going to the store and getting cupcakes to eat while I fucking do that. Maybe I shouldn't eat to deal with stress. Fuck. But we all know how the story goes. Why, when Jeff was playing with the kids, I was suddenly like, yes! I'm expecting it to have a happy end. I know, this is the most well-known story in the whole creepypasta metaverse. Everybody knows how it ends. Why did I suddenly become a rose-tinted glasses fucking Wonder World fucking... Alice was less fucking stoned on her fucking story! I was legitimately thinking that we're going to have a happy ending. How much fucking denial do you have to be in to suddenly change your expectation of the scary story that everyone on the goddamn planet knows? You know how it goes. How can you trick yourself into thinking that that the story is going to suddenly be different this time? I'm too idealistic, damn. I just wanted to have a happy ending. Everyone lived happily ever after. I would drink my Mountain Dew right now if it wasn't so goddamn flat! For some reason I felt the need to yell at my Mountain Dew. It's not like it's the Mountain Dew's fault it's flat. It's not meant to hold bubbles in a liquid. It's awesome invention, carbonation. It tastes delicious. I enjoy ice cold Pepsi. I really need to go get some Pepsi. I at least have plenty of ice. Okay. Back to the story. And again, I still want to rant about all those things involving his parents and the getting ready for, if you guys fucking care that much about what he goddamn wears, then why didn't you just go the fuck up with him in his room and pick what he fucking wore? If you care that much about it. No, you just care about how everyone looks at you. You care about your fucking public appearance. You care about your reputation. You don't care fucking about your kid. You don't give a shit about anything else. You just care what people fucking think of you? Fuck you! Again, and there's at least 20 other rants I want to go on. Every fucking sentence was pissing me off. And then all of a sudden, oh, we're playing with kids, everything's fine, everyone's it's a wholesome moment. And then I'm expecting, all of a sudden, my brain just decides to do the world's fucking dumbest acrobats. And it's just hey, yeah, the rest of the story is going to be wholesome. Everything's going to be fine. There's not going to be any more violence. Nothing bad will happen. And I legitimately believed that for a moment. For a literal fucking moment. I believed that the story was going to have a happy ending. with no more violence. Nothing bad was going to happen. I've heard the story probably 100 times over the course of, 20 years? When was this fucking story released? When was this written? I just know it's like the most well-known story that's ever been a story. Anytime there's been a series of words, these are the words that people should know the outcome. And yet, for a moment, I legitimately believed that it was going to have a happy, family-friendly, like it'd be the sort of thing you'd see with Will Smith on fucking Fresh Prince of Bel-Air. Like, yeah! The fuck?! God damn it. Back to the story as the other fucking shoe drops. God damn it. Load. At first he thought... Okay, I already read that. Alright, the weird rolling noise. Then it hit him. Randy, Troy, and Keith all jumped over the fence on their skateboards. Jeff dropped the fake gun and ripped off the hat. Randy looked at Jeff with burning hatred. Run in the house. Hello, Jeff, is it? We have some unfinished business. Why would you come back? You didn't fare very well last time. And what about your parents? How... All of the adults in this story are such a disappointment. Like, seriously, what the fuck, guys? Does no one... And of course, what, has Lou just been at the police station this whole fucking time? Have his parents even talked to him or what? Like, has anyone... I fucking hate everyone in this story. Like, it's just... I want to go off on a rant nonstop. Every sentence is pissing me off! Okay. Calmly read the story. Jeff saw his bruised nose. I think we're even. I beat the crap out of you and you get my brother sent to JDC. Randy got an angry look in his eyes. Oh no, I don't go for even. I go for winning. You may have kicked our asses that one day, but not today. As he said that, Randy rushed at Jeff. They both fell to the ground. Randy punched Jeff in the nose, and Jeff grabbed him by the ear and headbutted him. Jeff pushed Randy off of him, and both rose to their feet. Kids were screaming and parents were running out of the house. Troy and Keith both pulled guns. Actual fucking guns! They're 13-year-olds! Why do they have access to that? God damn it. Again, going to just read the story. No one interrupts or guts will fly, they said. Randy pulled a knife on Jeff and stabbed it into his shoulder. He needs that to move his arm. Jeff screamed. I mean, yeah, I would too. If I ever got stabbed, no one would ever... You're never going to stop hearing me, bitch and cry about it. I will whine like a baby. Like, I don't like pain. Randy started kicking him in the face. I need that. After 3 kicks, grab. I combined the words Jeff and grab. Good for me! Jeff grabs his foot and twists it, causing Randy to fall to the ground. Jeff stood up and walked toward the back door. Tony grabbed him. Need some help? He picks Jeff up by the back of the collar and throws him through the patio door. All the adults, still being failures of human beings, As Jeff tries to stand, he is kicked down to the ground. Randy, I can't talk, repeatedly starts kicking Jeff until he starts coughing up blood. Come on, Jeff, fight me. Every sentence. Every fucking sentence. He picks Jeff up and throws him into the kitchen. Randy sees a bottle of vodka on the counter and smashes the glass. Shouldn't that have killed him? You know, human skulls aren't... Fight! He throws Jeff back into the living room. Come on, Jeff, look at me. Jeff glanced up, his face riddled with blood. I was the one who got your brother sent to JDC. And now you're just going to sit there and let him rot there for a whole year. You should be ashamed. Jeff starts to get up. Oh, finally, you stand and fight. Jeff is now to his feet, blood and vodka on his face. Once again, he gets that strange feeling. The one in which he hasn't felt for a while. Finally, he's up, says Randy as he runs at Jeff. That's when it happens. Something inside Jeff snaps. His psyche is destroyed. All rational thinking is gone. All he can do is kill. He grabs Randy and pile drives him to the ground. He gets on top of him and punches him straight in the heart. The punch causes... You'd have to punch someone really, really fucking hard to do that. The punch caused Randy's heart to stop. As Randy grabs Jeff hammers down him, punch after punch. Blood gushes from Randy's body until he takes one final breath and dies. Well, I mean, technically, Randy's attack should have been more lethal because it was a bottle of liquor. That's very thick glass. So technically, yeah, everyone's looking at Jeff now, but at this point, Jeff, you know, it's not like he used a lethal weapon. He literally just... It's still self-defense at this point. Everyone's looking at Jeff now. The parents, crying kids, even Troy. And keep in mind, Troy and Keith had actual, literal fucking guns, and they had knives. Also, we have a whole group of parents just standing there, watching this happen. Maybe when Jeff was on top of the kid, punching him to death, at that point, maybe you could just lifted him off, you know. And now you're all gonna, like... What? Again, I need to stop going off. I need to stay on a topic. Topic being reading the text. Even Troy and Keith, although they easily break from their gaze and point their guns at Jeff. Jeff sees the guns trained on him and runs for the stairs. Yes, because you can't outrun a bullet. Best you can do is get out of the way. As he runs, Troy and Keith let out fire on him, each shot missing. Thank God they were trained by goddamn stormtroopers. Jeff runs up the stairs. He hears Troy and Keith follow it behind. As they let out their final... Why is no one doing anything? As they let out their final rounds of bullets, Jeff ducks to the bathroom. He grabs the towel rack and rips it off the wall. Troy and Keith race in, knives ready. Troy swings his knife at Jeff, who backs away and bangs the towel rack onto Troy's face. Troy's goes down hard. Again, that shouldn't be a lethal shot. That shouldn't be enough to kill a person. He is more agile than Troy. Well, yeah, Troy was extremely fat. And the other guy is like anorexic skinny. And ducks when Jeff swings the towel rack. He dropped the knife and grabbed Jeff by the neck. He pushed him into the wall. Alright, well, we knew this was gonna happen. Why do you keep... Just a thing of bleach fell down on top of the top shelf. It burnt both of them, and they both started to scream. Jeff wiped his eyes as best he could. He pulled back the towel rack and swung it straight into Keith's head. As he lay there, bleeding to death, he let out an ominous smile. What's so funny? Asked Jeff. Keith pulled out a lighter. Oh, God. Well, again, you should have remembered this. Why did you... Right, they probably smoke. Why does no one's parents do... God. And again, where are the adults this time? And why are these guys bleeding from being hit by a towel rack? That shouldn't have been a lethal hit. Why is everyone... And again, it's still self-defense at this point. I hate everyone in this story. What's so fun? Yeah, he switched on. What's funny is that, he said, is that you're covered in bleach and alcohol. Jeff's eyes widened as Keith threw the lighter at him. As soon as the flame made contact with him, the flames ignited the alcohol and the vodka. While the alcohol burned and the bleach bleached his skin, Jeff let out a terrible screech as he caught on fire. I mean, yeah, fire hurts. Fire burns. I am trying really hard to not suddenly try to impersonate the fire rarg sound from the Hotel Castlevania. You know, Frankenstein. He tried to roll out the fire, but it was no... I mean, yeah, alcohol made him a walking inferno. Yeah, that... You're in a bathroom! Turn on the shower! Hell! Pull a fucking Harry from Home Alone 2 and put your head in the toilet! There's all the water you need! There was a shower! You're in the bathroom! To be fair, if I got caught on fire, I wouldn't be thinking rationally either. I would probably just run around screaming too. But still, god damn it. Everybody started screaming as they saw Jeff, now a man on fire. He is 13, by the way. With a whole group of adults doing nothing! Dropped to the ground, nearly dead. Now that he's laying there, pretty much dead after no one's done anything, now they try to put out the fire. Last thing Jeff saw was his mother and the other parents trying to extinguish the flame. That's when he... Aside from the people in the prologue, I feel bad for no one. Like, all of these people had it coming. Fuck you all, you fucking assholes. That being said, why did the 3 guys die? They got hit with a towel rack and got punched in the chest. I've been hit by a fucking truck. I fucking survived that shit. Granted, I got like a dozen or so staples across my head, and I couldn't move my left arm for about a couple months. And I had like basketball black and purple bruises up and down my legs, and I had like all my ribs are bruised. But guess what? I wasn't dead. You guys got hit with a towel rack. What is this? The scene where Toki from Death Clock gets upset at Murderface for not allowing him to have credit for the song he made, so he threatens to throw a rack of hot towels on Murderface, and Murderface's like, oh god, Toki, don't do it! Like, that's a rack. Are you gonna throw a bunch of hot towels at me? Please don't do that! They're hot towels! Oh my god. Have you guys watched Metalocalypse? What about Space Ghost Coast to Coast? That's hilarious. Okay. Back to the story. When Jeff woke up, he had a cast wrapped around his face. He couldn't see anything, but he felt a cast on his shoulder. He did get stabbed there, man. And stitches all over his body. He tried to stand up, but he realized that there was some it's an IV. It's pumping in saline and medicine. I still hate those fucking needles. Though I've had multiple times where I've been admitted to the ICU for various reasons, and it sucks when the doctors have to pump you full of chemicals to keep you to be normal. It's like, oh, your body's too low on this, and you need to be pumped with all these chemicals to keep you from dying. Yay! My body sucks. Fuck you, immune system. But he felt a cast on his shoulder, and he tried to stand up. I still say the spinal tap, I disliked that quite a lot. He tried to stand up, but he realized that, oh yeah, and when he tried to get up, why would he just fall? Oh, he didn't notice all it, he got up. She reinserted the tube. I don't think he can get out of the bed just yet, she said, as she put him back in his bed and reinserted the tube. Jeff sat there with no vision, no idea of what his surroundings were. Finally, after hours, he heard his mother. Honey, are you okay? She asked. Jeff couldn't answer, though. His face was covered, and he was unable to speak. Oh, honey, I have great news. After all the witnesses told the police that Randy confessed to trying to attack you, they decided to let Lou go. This made Jeff almost bolt up, stopping halfway, remembering the tube coming out of his arm. He'll be out by tomorrow, and then you two will be able to be together again. Jeff's mother hugs Jeff and says her goodbye. You could have spent a little more time with him. Also, I know how the story goes. Maybe, especially given the physical ramifications of the bleach alcohol burning, maybe, therapy. Maybe he needed a little bit more assistance. Seriously, goddammit. The next couple weeks were those where Jeff was visited by at least people were coming to fucking see him, thank God. Then came the day where his bandages were to be removed. His family members were all there to see it, what he would look like. As the doctors unwrapped the bandages from Jeff's face, everyone was on the edge of their seats. They waited until the last bandage holding the cover over his face was almost removed. Let's hope for the best, said the doctor. He quickly pulled the cloth, letting the rest fall from Jeff's face. Jeff's mother screams at the sight of his face. Lou and Jeff's dad stare awestruck at his face. Guys, maybe people might have body image issues, and that maybe, things like that may have a negative psychological effect on a normally stable person. And at this point, maybe he's not a normally stable person. I'm just saying, maybe we could have handled this better. Maybe there was a better way that you guys could have handled this. Or everything in this entire story that you could have handled better. What? What happened to my face? Jeff said. He rushed out of the bed and ran to the bathroom. He looked in the mirror and saw the cause of the distress. His face. It's horrible. His lips were burnt to a deep shade of red. His face was turned into a pure white color, and his hair singed from brown to black. He slowly put a hand to his face. It had a sort of leathery feel to it now. He looked back at the mirror, at his family, and then back at the mirror. Jeff, said Lou, it's not that bad. I feel Lou has been the most mature and adult person in this entire story, and he's 12. Not that bad, said Jeff. It's perfect. His family was equally surprised. Jeff started laughing uncontrollably. His parents noticed that his left eye and hand were twitching. Jeff, are you okay? Okay, I've never been more happy. Now there's a bunch of laughing here, which, ha 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 ha, ha 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 ha, look at me, this face goes perfectly with me. He couldn't stop laughing. He stroked his face, feeling it. Looking at it in the mirror. What caused this? Well, you may recall that when Jeff was fighting Randy, something in his mind, his sanity, snapped. Now he was left as a crazy killing machine. That is, his parents didn't know. But I feel that there is a very clear red flag here. I also feel that all of this, everything, could have been avoided, if all of the other people in this story weren't complete, inept, asshole idiots. And I still feel like this could still be rectified. Like, at this point, like Jeff's mom said, Doctor, said Jeff's mom, is my son alright, in the head? I don't think you need a medical degree. Like, he's not a bad person at this point. He hasn't done anything actually wrong yet. At this point, he's done nothing wrong. But it's clear that he is not... that he will... that you guys, yes, oh yes, this behavior is typical for patients that have taken very large amounts of painkillers. Even if that is because I know a human mind can be drastically warped by chemicals. I mean, we've all been, injected with things by doctors to deal with infections or injuries. But I still feel to this extreme, it's a red flag. Plus, I mean, even without that, the whole thing with the incident, I'm pretty sure being, in that situation, even the first time where Randy and the group attacked him, that should induce some PTSD. Let alone the whole coming at them with knives and guns thing, even if the adults had stepped in when they were supposed to! You're the adults! But then, the physical attacks, the burning, even if he healed up perfectly and had no scarring at all and no chemical interference with his brain chemistry or his hormonal chemistry or any of that, still, there should be severe PTSD stuff that you guys should be addressing. And you're not. You're like, oh, it's just the chemicals. It's just the painkillers. Yes, the painkillers are probably inducing an issue. Yes, it is normal for it to have that kind of effect. But here's the thing. One, even if that is the only thing at play, then you need to have a super close eye on the person to make sure they don't do anything fucking stupid that they wouldn't do in the non-inebriated state. Because they don't have a choice in the matter. It's not their choice to be pumped full of pain chemicals or, to been seriously fucking injured in the first place. That's just comes with the territory of having to go to the doctor. Sometimes you're going to be injected with stuff, and it's just, kind of necessary, especially if you're doing a surgery or some shit, But that's why there are medical professionals who are there to understand how to properly handle this. God damn it. I'm just saying. Even if it was just the chemicals, obviously the chemicals are having a strong effect. Maybe what the fuck, guys? An hour and a half in, having to remind myself to actually just read the story. Give him a psychological test. Okay. I feel so much less empathy for every individual in this story that isn't Jeff right now. Granted, again, at the end, what Jeff does is terrible, it's horrible, it's inexcusable, it is wrong, but he hasn't done that yet. I'm just saying, you guys are not handling this right. You guys didn't handle anything right. You guys are assholes. Oh, thank you, Doctor. Jeff's mother went over to Jeff. Jeff, sweetie, it's time to go. Jeff looks away from the mirror. His face still formed into a crazy smile. Okay, Mommy. And then lots of laughing, like ha 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 ha. His mother took him by the shoulder, hopefully not the one that was stabbed, and took him to get his clothes. This is what came in, said the lady at the desk. Jeff's mom looked down to see the black dress pants and white hoodie her son wore. Now they were clean of blood and now stitched. Just give him a new set of clothes! Hell, give him a set of Pikachu pajamas! Okay? Give him like a DVD case of like My Little Pony or something. Something that's, not going to be a traumatic reminder of what put him in the goddamn hospital. You guys are assholes. Just give him a new outfit. Hell, let him dress up as Mega Man from Mega Man Legends or any of the Mega. It's a blue outfit, okay? I really want to go to anime convention at some point. Though, I wonder if there would still be cosplayers, the whole, pandemic stuff. I wonder if that changed how that stuff went. I still want to see people, yes! I'm thinking about sexy cosplay girls. Think about it! Chun-Li and Cammy. Yes, I'm thinking about very sexy thighs, ass, and titties. And of course, very pretty faces. I like cute anime girls. Hey, you guys ever watch Tenchi Muyo? Tenchi Muyo is an absolutely awesome anime. Back to the story that's probably close to over. Jeff's mother led him to his room and made him put his clothes on. You know, the clothes that are totally not a reminder of something traumatic that we should be trying to distance ourselves from. Then they left, not knowing that this was their final day of life. Later that night, Jeff's mother woke up to the sound coming from the bathroom. You guys should have kept better, because I know what he did, and I'm cringing thinking about it. It sounded as if somebody was crying. She slowly walked over to see what it was. When she looked at the bathroom, she saw a horrendous sight. Jeff had taken a knife and carved a smile into his cheeks. Jeff, what are you doing? Asked his mother. Jeff looked over at his mother. I couldn't keep smiling, Mommy. It hurt after a while. Now I can smile forever. You know? Jeff's mother's noticed eyes ringed in black. Jeff, your eyes. His eyes were seemingly never closing. I couldn't see my face. I got tired, and my eyes started to close. I burned out my eyelids. You know, maybe there are limits to how much fucking painkiller you should pump into a person, too. I burned out the eyelids. God damn it. All of this is cringeworthy. And not that, it's cringy. I mean, it's making me cringe because it's painful to imagine. And I'm like, ow. That's all the owies. So I can forever see my new face. Guys. Jeff's mother started to slowly back away, seeing that her son was going. Insane. Going. I feel like that trip. I feel like he's finished that trip so fucking badly at this point that he's mailing you fucking goddamn postcards. What's wrong, Mommy? Aren't I beautiful? Yes, son, she said. Yes, you are. Let me go get Daddy so he can see your face. She ran to the room and shook Jeff's dad from his sleep. Honey, get the gun, What? Yep. He is your son. Yes, there is something extremely wrong with him in that situation. But your first instinct should be to get the gun. He is your son. It should be, hey, Jeff's still looping for the painkillers. He's hurting himself. We need to get him to the doctor now so he doesn't die of an infection. We need to get him antibiotics. We need to, obviously get him some psychotherapy. We need to see what chemicals are doing, and we need to get him some fucking skin grafts. Not go get the gun like we're putting him down like he's fucking Old Yeller. What was the name of that movie? Was it Old Yeller? What movie was that? It was like the 60s, wasn't it? Mommy, you lied. That's the last thing they hear as Jeff rushes them with the knife, gutting both of them. I'm just saying, your first instinct shouldn't have been to get the gun if you were really that concerned. But yeah, your first instinct, take your son to the doctor. But again, I feel like you have made terrible decisions at every point in the story. Also, at this point, yes, Jeff is that was the line. The part where he killed his parents. That's the line. That's where he crossed the line. And he has now done bad things. He is now that is bad. That is wrong. And he should not have done that. That was wrong. He is now a bad person. That was the line. That's the point of the story. No. That was wrong. His brother Lou woke up, startled by some noise. Oh, I wonder what he heard. He didn't hear anything else, so he just shut his eyes and tried to go back to sleep. As he was on the border of slumber, he got the strangest feeling that someone was watching him. He looked up before Jeff's hand covered his mouth. He slowly raised the knife, ready to plunge it into Lou. Lou thrashed here and there, trying to escape Jeff's grip. Shh, Jeff said. Just go to sleep. And again, that's also fucked up and wrong. You shouldn't have done that either. So, yeah, there are problems there. But again, okay, apparently there's a reboot of this. And there's dark images and darker. How does it get darker? I don't. Oh. I. Well, I mean, there's a lot of stuff here, but it's on like creepypasta.com. But yeah, I think I'll say reading Slender Man and the Barbie thing, and I'll have to look up some other creepypastas. I might try to look up a video saying like what's the most well-known creepypastas, so I have an idea like which ones I probably should read first. I mean, other option would be just to read them at random, but then I'm not even sure how I would search them. It's not like there's a list where they're alphabetical order, and I could just pick one, or just pick for a random. That's a creepypasta generator in itself. Okay, so it took a lot longer to read that one story than anticipated. So yeah, my bad. I hope you guys enjoyed, at least for the parts that I stayed on topic. But yeah, I hope you guys had a wonderful day, and I hope everything's good, and I appreciate that you guys listen to this, and I hope all of you feel loved and are nice to yourselves and love yourselves. And if you have somebody that loves you, tell them that you appreciate that and that you love them too, and give them a big hug. And yeah, I want to go take a shower. I also want to go to the store and buy some Oreos and Pepsi and gas station. Is it weird I might get an energy drink? That can't be healthy for me. As is, I tend to have weird chest pains, but that's probably the overwork from all the massive overtime. So, yeah. Anyway, later guys. Hope you guys had a good day. Bye.